In January 2023, the very first restaurants I reviewed on Paris Top Tips was Le Vaudeville, one of my favorite traditional brasseries in Paris. On March 31st, 2025, a fire broke out in its kitchens. The restaurant remained closed for months before finally reopening. So, 3 years after my original review, I came back with my friend Patricia to answer one simple question. Is Le Vaudeville still one of my favorite brasseries in Paris? Located directly opposite the Palais Brongniart, the former Paris Stock Exchange, Le Vaudeville sits in the 2nd arrondissement, just a short walk from the Opéra Garnier. There's a surprisingly large gap between the Vaudeville's average ratings on Google and TripAdvisor. More importantly, the tone of the recent TripAdvisor reviews is decidedly mixed. So it was time for me to return and judge for myself. After the fire, the owners wisely decided not to overhaul the restaurant's decor, preserving both its very pleasant terrace and its refined Art Deco interior, which dates back to 1918. First things first, the service was impeccable. Both the maître d'hôtel and our waiter were courteous, friendly, and highly efficient, just as I remembered. Of course, the menu brought to our table was in French. But as always, for you, my dear viewers, I asked for the English version. Pâté en croûte, sea bass tartare, and egg mayonnaise among the starters, Normandy beef tartare, beef fillet with béarnaise sauce, and roasted sea bass fillet with chablis sauce among the main courses, the menu is filled with traditional French classics. And of course, as you would expect from any self-respecting Parisian brasserie, there is a wide selection of seafood, along with several varieties of oysters. No choucroute, as we are in summer, but they are definitely on the menu, comes fall. To begin, we are served an excellent olive tapenade with slices of toasted bread. Those of you who have watched some of my previous restaurant reviews with my friend Patricia may already know that she loves couteaux or razor clams. She thought these were perfectly fine, but not among the best she had tasted recently. It was a very hot day, so I opted for a refreshing chilled roasted tomato velouté with goat's cheese. And refreshing it certainly was, full of flavor, and the perfect start to my meal. For her main course, Patricia chose the Scottish salmon tartare with lime and new potatoes. Good, she said, but nothing particularly memorable. Once again, I seem to have made the better choice. My grilled cod served with a truffle and mushroom sauce and wonderfully buttery mashed potatoes was a refined dish, elevated by an exquisite sauce. And when the sauce is this good, you know me, there's one thing I simply cannot resist, using my bread to mop up every last drop. For dessert, keeping with the refreshing theme, I choose a raspberry melba sundae. Patricia, meanwhile, chose the raspberry tart. Excluding Patricia's Aperol Spritz before the meal, we paid €109 for 2 complete meals with drinks, which by today's standards is a reasonable price for a renowned Parisian brasserie. As you can see from the queue that had formed by the time we left, making a reservation would be wise if you plan to dine here. So, is Le Vaudeville still one of the best traditional brasseries in Paris? The setting remains beautiful, the service was impeccable, and my own meal, from the chilled tomato velouté to the grilled cod, was refined and genuinely enjoyable. The €109 bill for 2 complete meals also felt reasonable by current Parisian standards. However, Patricia found several of her dishes merely good rather than memorable, and I must admit that I did not rediscover quite the same pleasure I used to feel here. Perhaps Le Vaudeville has changed a little, or perhaps after reviewing so many Paris restaurants, my expectations have simply become higher. It remains a very good brasserie, and one I can still recommend, but it is no longer number 1 in my heart. My final rating for Le Vaudeville is 15.9 out of 20. I hope to see you soon on another Paris Top Tips video.